Good morning, world. Hey, yo, what's going on? It's your boy FRE$H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't ask why, just check out the channel. And I wasn't going to tell a story, but I'm going to give you guys my 2019 year in review. Now, the reason why I wasn't going to tell a story is because a lot of stuff happened that was down and a lot of stuff happened that was up. And I don't want to get... I was cautious at first how people would react to me getting this personal. But then I realized two things. One, on YouTube, people don't watch a video for longer than 5 minutes or 6 minutes. So most people won't really watch it to the end. And two, people can learn from your story, and it may help them along their way. So why not tell a story? As of January 1st, 2019, I legally owned 2 houses, but I was homeless. Well, the reason why I say I was homeless is because one house that I owned was fully rented by my tenants, which means that there's people staying everywhere and they're paying to stay there. The other house I owned was unlivable. When I say it was unlivable, I mean the city had disconnected the gas, the electric, and the water in the house that I brought. Actually, it took me until the end of November to get the electric on, but I couldn't get the gas on. Therefore, there's no heat. And if you know how North New Jersey is and the cold, it gets real cold. And it took me until March to get the gas and the water on. Because when you have all your services disconnected, cut from the street, you then have to go through a process to get everything turned on. And things take 20 to 30 days each event. So the rehab that I had planned only last 6 months end up lasting like 9 months, actually 10 almost. So at January 1st, I had electric, but I didn't have heat. I didn't have water. Yeah, I just had electric. I had a 2-year-old son, so my son, who comes to see me every other weekend, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, he couldn't stay there. And I have a daughter who I pick up every Saturday, and she can come over. We could watch TV because I had electric, but it was cold. So I couldn't really have her over all the time either. The weekends that I had my son, I either slept at my grandmother's house with my son in like a room. That's when my cousins or somebody wasn't there. Or I actually just rented an Airbnb. And I'm so happy that Airbnb is so inexpensive, because I used to rent Airbnbs. And this is like a 2-month period before, I got the heat on in March to be able to bring my son to my house, to be able to keep my daughter at my house. And so for about 6 weeks, I stayed in my grandmother's house 2 weeks, and the other 4 weeks I just paid for Airbnb. It's a hard feeling, man. It's like you feel proud because you own houses, but to not have a place to sleep, it's a tough feeling. Well, with your kids, I personally, whenever I didn't have my son with me, when I was going to work, I was staying in the house. I had a little heater in my room, like this right here. I bought these from Home Depot. They're really good. I had a little heater in my room, and I had cable and internet. I had no running water, so the bathroom, whenever I had to use the bathroom, if I had number 2, I had to do it at work because I work so much. If I had number 1, I would just go out back and just do it out back because there's no running water. So without running water, you can't really do nothing. You know what I mean? When I had to take a shower, I just went to my grandmother's house, or I did a quick bird bath at work. Most people don't really know, but it was people that know me at work. It was days where I would come to work early because it was so cold in my house that I just didn't want to sleep in the house. Even with the heater, it was so cold. And I would just like sleep on the floor at work. I didn't know how the end of the year was going to turn out. I mean, looking back at it in foresight, I would do it again because of how the end of the year turned out. But a lot of people, it's hard for you to really do something like that and not know how it's going to turn out. And mind you, this whole time that I'm living with no gas or no water, I'm paying $1,800 a month to keep this house. So it was tough. It was tough. In January, myself, my brother Mel Money, and my homie Louis J decided to go to Hawaii to visit my friend Flop, who was stationed as an E7 in the Navy out in Hawaii for years with his family. Now, we had never been out there before, and I think Lim was like the only one that ever went out to see Flop. So we said, you know what? We're gonna go out there and see our bro before he leaves, before he comes back to this mainland. So we went out there, and man, we had an amazing time. It helped me forget all of the craziness that was going on back home with not having no heat, and especially because it was hot in Hawaii. It helped me remember that I was pushing towards something. And there was this thing. It was this thing they called the pillbox. And the pillbox, what that is a hill. And in the hill, it had rained the day before. And the hill is hard. You can't. It's not something that you can just walk up. It's like it's a lot of stuff that to get up there. It's real hard to get it. I'll show some of the video while I'm talking so that you can see exactly the hard work you had to put up with or go through just to get to the point where you see the beauty. And that kind of is like the exact same thing for my year 2019. Honestly, my year 2019 is a year that represents my struggles in life. Now, I can't go back and tell you all of my struggles in life because some of the stuff involve other people and some of the stuff I just can't talk about. But the pillbox helped me like really see it, like hands on, like dang, if I keep pushing through, I'll be able to see this beauty. And I said a line in one of my videos. I said, beauty is determined by what you went through to achieve it. You know, if you see a flower, you might say, oh, that flower is beautiful. But if you plant a flower, if you plant a seed, you soil, you water the seed, you cultivate the seed, and you watch it grow from the start, there's nothing going to be more beautiful than that. But I had already had a trip planned for February to Barranquilla Carnival, Colombia. Now, a lot of times when I go on these trips, as people know, I go by myself. You know, growing up, it wasn't a lot of people that wanted to go on trips. I met other people that did YouTube. One of the people was Ace Live. Ace Live told me how much he make, how he makes the money, and he showed me that. I said, well, you know, for me, the money ain't nothing. But what he also showed me is how to organize your channel to a way that it can be seen by most people, and how YouTube has an algorithm. And that actually helped out a lot. I mean, shout out to Ace Live. That actually helped out a lot because I'm very organized with my stuff, but I just didn't really care too much about doing it for YouTube. But after having like an hour-long conversation with Ace, I'm like, you know what? Let me do this. It's been a long process. So in Barranquilla Carnival was just amazing. And what I learned there, I took with me and I brought back. That's in February. Now March came and I finally got heat in the house. So now I can bring my son here. I can bring my daughter here. We can all hang out because my daughter spends all Saturday with me, and my son, like I said, he stays on the every other weekends and Mondays. And now things are starting to get better because when I can be home with my kids in my house, it's like, all right, I don't have to really worry about nothing no more. I got a place to rest my head. That's that feeling of having an actual place that you can call your own. It's if you know it, you know it. That's all I can say. So March, April, May, June, I put in a lot of hours at work. And I saved a lot of money. I didn't really do too much stuff. I don't think I even recorded that many videos. I think what I did was actually in June, I believe it was June, I said, hey, I'm saving all this money, and the only way I'm saving money is if I stay in the house. So I got to do something productive with my time. And that's when I created the Black Man's Guide to World Travel. It was just an idea that I came up with, like how once I started understanding the YouTube algorithm and how people search, I said, well, when I want to go somewhere, I want to see a black man's experience. Not to say it's better or worse than any other ethnicity, but I want to have something I can feel as though I may relate to. And when I kept searching, black man in Dubai, black man in Colombia, black man in uh, France, or black man in Jamaica, nothing ever came up. No, when I say black, I mean black United States man. There was no black United States man doing this. So I say, you know what? Let me do this. Let me create a black man's guide to world travel. And my first video I did was Brazil. Now I didn't automatically catch on that fast, but I wanted to do one a week because I had been so many places. I had already been to like 10 countries at the time. So I said I'm gonna do one a week. So the first week I dropped it and it got hits. It was like boom. It wasn't a lot, but it was like 1,000 hits in a week. And I was like, oh, I might be onto something. So the next place I did was Cuba. And Cuba blew up. Currently, Cuba, as you see, has 26,000 views, 300 comments, 350 thumbs up, and like 40 thumbs down, all in 6 months. That's the most comments I've ever got on my YouTube. That's the most likes I ever got on one video. And that's not the most views, but that's the most views in that short period of time. So in June, when I created a Black Man's Guide, my channel started expanding. I started getting a lot of subscribers. In August of 2019, my brother Mel Money was getting married. And for his bachelor's party, we decided to go back, because we had been there once before, but we decided to go back to Toronto, Canada during Carabana. Now, for those that don't know, Carabana is a West Indian Day festival, which is celebrated all over the world, but in this part, it's celebrated in Toronto, Canada. And boy, oh boy, if yo, I don't think I could ever imagine any bachelor party being any better. We had one hell of a time. Now, a lot of the videos, if you want to see the real footage, you're going to have to go to the specific video, Carabana, or the Black Man's Guide to Toronto Carabana, or the 6 videos I made out of it, because I don't want to put it up here, because some of this stuff got the video that I made out of it demonetized, and it's wild, man. It's wild. When we got back, the wedding was the next week, man. It was amazing wedding. It was an amazing wedding held in this big wedding reception hall in New Jersey. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Lee, and congratulations on the union. It was amazing. So then after August, it was September, and I wanted to keep up the trend because the Canada videos were on fire. They were on fire for Carabana. And I decided to go to the Labor Day parade in Brooklyn, New York. Man, little did I know what this Labor Day parade would turn into. When I got there, I went by myself. Like as you'll see, I'm not afraid to go by myself anywhere. When I got to the Labor Day parade, I actually met a guy from Haiti who had been in the States for like 4 months. So we both kind of stuck out for the beginning and hung together for the beginning of the time. I met so many different people, like on this one day. I met so many different people, and it was just amazing. The energy was dope. And then it rained. But here's the thing. The rain actually made it better. So after the parade, about a week or two, I met a friend. Her name was Nye. And she lived in the Bronx. And I said, you know what? I should start doing like borough tours where I like take a friend and go to the borough and see different boroughs. And there's a lot of stuff in New York that I haven't did, even though I live in New Jersey. So I said, sure, this would be great. So we actually, it was like towards the end of October, towards the end of September, we actually went to the Empire State Building and the Statue of Liberty. Now, mind you, I'm 35 years old, and I had never been to the Statue of Liberty. I mean, I've been to Times Square before, but I've never been to the Statue of Liberty. So we spent the day, and we went to the Statue of Liberty. We went to the Times Square at nighttime. We went to the Empire State Building, and it was amazing. And it kept adding to my YouTube channel and adding to my story, which helped me really get out the positive message I was trying to get out. Now, in October, my aunt Jada, congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Simmons. I guess this year was a lot of weddings this year. My aunt Jada got married. They had a destination marriage in Dominican Republic. Now, I've already been to Dominican Republic 2 other times before, so I wasn't that thrilled to go, but just to see an actual wedding there, oh my God, it was amazing. It was like something out of a fairy tale. Okay, so after the wedding was over, I came back to the States and I just started editing and I put that video up and you can watch that too. That is amazing also. By this time, my house is up to date. I have tenants in my house. On my first floor, here's the thing. On my first floor, I have college students, and on the second floor, I have a family. And everything is up and running. So if you can imagine coming from being homeless in the beginning of the year, and now I have 2 houses up and running, and a place where I can stay that's comfortable and call home that's warm, and I got upstairs and the downstairs, and I'm able to pay my bills, and it's just a big feeling. I'm not really the tearful kind, but really it would make you want to cry to see how far I came in 1 year. So now it's October. I come back home. November, December, I spend just with my kids and, doing everything for Christmas and things like that. And now we come towards the end of the year and I have to look back on it all. And I can just say, man, everything was worth it. But I didn't know. I didn't know that it was going to be worth it in the end. I had accumulated some debt along the way, but I actually just sold a car and paid off all of my debt. Well, I still owe like 15 to HELOC, but I'll get that done by next year when I get my next place in Montclair. That's my plan for 2020. Just forecasting. I don't know, you guys, how it's going to be. I'm going to give you what I think is going to happen for 2020, what I have planned, and what may happen. And I definitely am going to get a place in Montclair. As a kid growing up, I always felt as though you really made it when you hit Montclair, because Montclair, everything is $500,000 plus. I also want to go to Tokyo and kind of plan to go to Tokyo for the Olympics. That all depends on the Montclair situation. But I'm definitely going back to Carnival Barranquilla in February, and it's looking like I may go back to Cuba in April. I got to see how things work out. But if I don't go to Tokyo for Olympics, then I'm definitely going to Colombia to Medellin for Festival of Flores, something like that. But that was my breakdown of 2019 and my my predictions for 2020. And after all that, I just say sometimes you have to live like nobody else, like I was when I was homeless, to live like nobody else, like I am now when I'm getting income from my properties and living rent free and paying off all my debt. It's all just dedication. Well, anyway, it's your boy FRE$H Fresh at the Flyboy Way. That's THEFLYBOYWAY. Don't XY. Just check out the channel, and I'll see you in 2020. Peace. Good morning, world.